National Association of Nigerian Students has hinted that payment of its proposed annual 200 naira dues may become a requirement for students seeking mobilization for the National Youth Service Corps scheme. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are our top 10 stories countdown today. At number 10, a former Thai MP on Monday shot dead a local government official in broad daylight over a financial dispute before being arrested and confessing to journalists at the police station. The attack took place outside a government building in Nonthaburi province, north of Bangkok, just days after a school shooting in the same region that raised questions over gun control in Thailand. Flanked by police officers following his arrest, former MP Chalong Rewang told reporters he had tried to talk to local official Thong Chai Yemprasert about money. At number 9, Don Nelson, who won the second most games of any coach in NBA history and 5 NBA titles as a player with the Boston Celtics, died on Sunday. His family announced. He was 86. Nelson was a member of NBA championship teams with Boston from 1966 to 1976, and the Celtics retired his jersey number 19. As a coach, Nelson finished with a record of 1,335 to 1,063, what had been an NBA record until Greg Popovich passed him in 2022 in stint with Golden State, Milwaukee, New York, and Dallas from 1976 to 2010. At number 8, civil society organizations, health advocates, and public interest groups have called for the immediate recall of the National Tobacco Control Act Bill 2025, warning that some of its provisions could weaken safeguards and expose Nigerian youth to addictive nicotine products. The groups under the Nigeria Tobacco Control Community said the bill could create new channels for advertising, promotion, sponsorship, sampling, retail display, and online sales of emerging products, including vapes, heated tobacco products, and nicotine pouches. The statement was read on Monday in Abuja by the Executive Director of Cooperation, Accountability, and Public Participation Africa, Akimbode Oluwafemi, at an event organized by the Nigeria Tobacco Control Community to show opposition against the newly amended Tobacco Control Act in Abuja. At number 7, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons says it has secured more than 20 convictions for sexual and gender-based violence offenses and rescued over 3,000 victims in 2026. Head of Press and Public Relations Unit, NAPTIP, Mr. Vincent Adekoye, disclosed this in an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria on Monday in Abuja. Adekoye said 3 of the convictions resulted in life imprisonment, adding that most of the cases involved rape. He said NAPTIP had expanded its response to SGBV by strengthening collaboration with the police, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and relevant ministries, departments, and agencies. At number 6, the Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Prof. Ahmed Audi, has ordered the deployment of 10,000 personnel from 10 state commands, alongside specialized tactical and operational units of the Corps, to reinforce security operations across Osun State. Considering the security situation in Osun State, the NSCDC said the deployment commenced on Monday. It was part of the Corps commitment to ensure that voters, electoral officials, observers, journalists, and residents are able to participate in the electoral process without fear of intimidation. The Corps said in a statement signed by its public relations officer, Babawale Afolabi. At number 5, the Nigeria Police Force has intensified its nationwide offensive against criminal elements, foiling a bandit attack on a police station, disrupting an alleged armed robbery operation, and arresting 31 suspects in 6 states. The operations conducted between August 8 and 10 also resulted in the recovery of firearms, ammunition, suspected illicit drugs, and other exhibits. According to the state-by-state executive summary of the force's operational successes released on Monday, the latest crackdown is coming against the backdrop of growing political and public pressure on security agencies to sustain the fight against banditry, terrorism, cultism, and other violent crimes threatening communities across the country. At number 4, the Ogun State Police Command has raided a residential building and arrested 23 foreign nationals in connection with an alleged Ponzi scheme and visa scam in the Otta area of the state. This is contained in a statement issued by the command spokesperson, DSP Olusheyi Babasheyi, on Monday in Abeokuta. Babasheyi said the suspects were arrested on August 4th at about 11 a.m. by operatives attached to the Atan Otta division of the command. The spokesperson said the 2 suspects were retained by the police for prosecution in connection with obtaining by false pretense and other related offenses, subject to the conclusion of the investigation. At number 3, the African Democratic Congress in Katsina State has been thrown into fresh turmoil following the resignation of 2 prominent governorship aspirants who contested the party's 2026 governorship tickets. The 2 politicians, former Katsina State Secretary to the government, Dr. Mustafa Mohammed Inuwa, and former Director General of the Department of State Services, Lawal Musa Daura, announced their exit separately on Sunday, August 9, 2026. While Inuwa defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress with thousands of his supporters, Daura joined the Allied People's Movement. Inuwa, a veteran Katsina politician and former SSG, was the first of the 2 to announce his resignation from the opposition ADC. At number 2, the Taraba state government has dismissed allegations by opposition parties that the state has a debt burden to the tune of over 1.2 trillion naira in just 3 years under the current administration, describing the claim as fake, misleading, and inciting the public against the government. The State Commissioner for Finance, Budget, and Economy, Sarah Adi, in a statement insisted the allegation does not reflect Taraba's actual debt status and urged politicians to verify data before presenting it to the public. At number 1, the National Association of Nigerian Students has hinted that payment of its proposed annual 200 naira dues may become a requirement for students seeking mobilization for the National Youth Service Corps scheme. The NANS National President Akinteye Babatunde disclosed this in a Facebook post on Sunday and Monday while discussing the organization's finances and plans to change how its dues are collected. Babatunde had earlier said NANS would work with the NYSC and that students might need proof of payment of the association's dues to be mobilized for camp. However, in a video posted on Monday, Babatunde explained that the association was considering a system that would allow it to collect its dues directly from students rather than relying on student union government and institutional management. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.